Speaking of which,
It
they
was
need to bring those back, man. They can bring
hey,
back Surge. They need to bring back Sobe.
no, you know what? There's another drink. You don't know about Orbits. You know about Orbits drink?
I remember Orbit. Yeah.
The
I was
little
like, I know about the little drink with the little balls in them.
dude, the little floaty little.
Yeah.
They're like floating around like lava lamps. It was a lava
Yeah.
lamp drink.
Drinking a
How
lava lamp, man.
you know those little like little floating balls were probably made out of
Yeah.
plastic or something, and we were just like,
it's all microplastics.
yeah, that's what they you hadn't heard anything. They're just like, let's
Yeah.
just get out of here, guys.
Let's
They
just get
they
out of here, guys.
packed up the production. They're like, before anybody sues us, they're
Yeah.
like, it's just
Hey, it's the same reason they won't tell people how glitter is made. That's like tight to
is
the
that it?
chest.
Is
I
that
think
it?
that's the thing. I think there's like a conspiracy theory on how glitter is made or something.
It's pair of scissors, dude. Just like you take a ribbon and just go like, just it probably yeah. It is probably it is
Yeah,
probably something terrible like little kids who are like cutting,
it's all
in
paper.
China. Yeah. They're all like ruining our lives with glitter. I actually I have a strict no glitter in my
No
house
glitter.
rules because
Can't
I don't
get
know how
rid
it's
of
made, and
it.
you can't get rid of it, Joey.
Yeah, it's
I get like if I get like a card that like a
yeah.
birthday party, it's straight in the trash,
If
filed.
it has glitter, d- gone.
Put it
Trash.
filed it in T for trash. Just I don't care if there's money in it. I'm sorry, that's on you. You
See, that's
messed
all you.
up.
the
We
money,
both lose.
the money lost its value now. I finished watching an anime. Um, it's so ridiculous.
Uh-huh. What is it?
It's one we're gonna watch in November.
Oh, okay. But you don't want to tell me that. Don't. You're just gonna leave it like that.
So
You're
just
just
leave
gonna
it
leave
like that,
me,
dude.
uh, Joe Bangs. You know
Dude.
how I don't like a cliffhanger. You know what I'm saying? Like I look up spoilers,
Cliffhanger,
and you're
like
gonna
crazy.
give me a hint. Give the world a hint for November.
It's gonna be. You're gonna need a lot of space to write this title down.
Okay. Okay. That's a that's all I'll do. That's all I'll do. That's all I need.
That's all I need. Oh, all right. Let's see here. That's
All right,
good.
I'm
That's
ready.
good.
You
All right.
ready?
We is ready. All right. And 3, 2, and 1. Hey everybody, welcome back to Anime Pod. It's me, Joined with my co-host Sal, and we are in our 4th week
Probably
of September, y'all.
this is probably
For
the everyone's
fall
favorite
falls
month besides Toyotathon, right? Like it's December.
Toyota.
It's a close
Yeah,
second. It's a
it's
close
a very
second.
close. It's a close second. December,
September.
October,
Yeah. Going backwards.
Toyotathon,
It only gets better
September.
from here, okay?
Yeah,
And you know,
only gets better from here. You know what else makes it better? Anime Me Pod, which is a podcast where two friends show each other anime. Usually it's me showing the anime, but with
and
September,
I don't know
Sal's the
what I'm
one leading
doing,
this today,
so
guys.
go to the store, buy you a hat, and hold on to it, okay?
Go to the
Put 2 pairs of socks on because we're about to knock at least 1 pair of socks off. Because let me tell you, we are
release
watching
one
the Rick and Morty anime.
Boom.
Right, that's
Rick
what we're
and
watching, right?
Morty
You did watch that,
anime,
right? Okay,
guys.
cool.
Creed. Yeah, I watched it. Yeah. Which, by the way, real quick, going back to our oh my gosh, which episode was it? It was the other.
Okay,
It was
okay.
Lucky Star 2.
Oh,
Um, you actually
the
watched the
first
first episode of the
episode
second
of the
season.
second season of wait, of what? Lucky Star?
Yeah. Of
Oh, what was okay? That was
2. Let me
oh
see. Let me pull it up real quick.
are
Uh,
you talking about
hang on. I got it right
Himoto
here.
Umanchan? No. Wait. No. No. Wait.
Yeah, that one. Himoto One
See,
Shot.
this is the problem, Joy.
You
Okay,
watched
go
the
ahead.
first episode of the
You're
second
too
season
agreeable.
because yeah, because you
Uh-huh.
started you started
Hold him
talking
up.
about
Hold him up.
soccer, and I was like, hang on. I was like, wait a minute, that wasn't this first episode.
Yo,
Like,
Joy,
that's
that
the
came out
other.
too,
That's the first.
bro.
That's the second season.
How did you find this out?
But let it go because it was still like, cause I still knew
The
what it
first
was. So
episode of the second
it's
season.
still the first episode.
Wow, dude, that is wild.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
how? How did that happen? I gotta go back and
Which there's so it goes back. So it some sites still for some reason they'll have like the second season or a different season or
uh-huh.
some other episodes pulled up when you click to watch it. So you have to like because
I'm wondering where I
I've
watched
noticed
this.
it on like Crunchyroll sometimes will do that. I think Hulu, I've seen it done like that. Which Hulu too, I know, especially for Bleach, they have both the dubbed and the sub right next to each other. So it's like, oh, you could watch you watch this episode dub, but then the next,
Dude, I
if
gotta
you
go back and listen
back
to
out and
us
go to
talk
the
about
episode
this
after that,
because
it'll
how
still be
did
that same
you
episode but subbed.
like I'm talking about the show and you're like, yeah? That don't
As soon as he said soccer, I realized I was all like, he didn't watch. All right, we didn't watch the same episode.
and you're like, but we going, baby.
When
We
we go,
doing this. We do it.
it sounded good.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious, dude. Well, we did this one right, I
We
think.
did this one right, guys. There's
Hey,
only
before
like 4 episodes, I think, right now, right? 4 or 5.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but you know what? I hope you watched the last one. I watched the first one, and we're just gonna be just missing each other
hey.
the whole time.
Hey, well, you know what? Because this has to do with new universes. Because the
Hmm.
synopsis for this is in a new universe, Morty falls in love with a new girl, and the Galactic Federation goes after Rick and his mysterious device. So we're getting into some multiverse stuff,
That's
guys.
probably what it was. That I watched that
Yeah.
multiverse episode,
Yeah.
and in my universe, that was the first episode.
That was the first one.
Your episode started with the actual first episode. My
Yeah.
universe is always the second season, first episode.
Oh, it's the
Okay.
second season.
All right. Well,
For
hey, tell me. Oh, go on.
say sometimes second season is better than the first season.
This is
Usually,
true.
usually, usually people say, "Oh, you just got to get through the first season. The second season will be good."
That's
So,
interesting. I don't think I like the show very much. Even the second season. It was fine. It was fine. But we ain't talk about that. We talk about Rick and Morty
Rick
anime.
and Morty anime.
Like, give me some things that you wrote down or some stuff that stood out to you.
Um, there's just like obviously it's gonna be the I know the intro song, the OP,
Oh, dude.
classic anime.
It was almost like a joke, right? Was it like a
Yeah,
joke? A little
it
bit.
was all like they're like, oh, we're making this anime. All right, we're gonna do every single anime thing for the
Every
opening.
trope. Every trope.
And if you notice too in the song, they actually use like the music from the Rick and Morty show.
Yeah.
Like you can hear it, you can subtly hear it throughout the song, which is
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah, and there's a lot of little things like that in the show,
Yeah,
little homages and stuff like that. But yeah,
yeah.
you have Morty falling, and then
Flying through the air.
yeah, into a hand, right? Like the
Yeah,
hands clasp and everything. Oh, dude, it's
it
so
is
animated.
hilarious.
It's so good,
Oh
so
man,
good.
yeah. That this is really multiverse stuff because it's, of course, everybody knows who's watched Rick and Morty. There's different variations, different universes, all these different Mortys. But he's in the VR game. It's like, all right, cool. He's in the VR, but then you start seeing other Mortys like in different color suits. So like, oh wait, what's going on? And then it starts going, and it's all like, it's jumping back and forth between
Hmm.
different
Hmm.
Mortys. It's just like, so the whole show, I'm just like, wait, so which Morty am I trying to pay attention to right
Because they keep dying,
now?
by the way.
Yeah, they keep dying. Um, I do like the it's still the funniness of Rick and Morty. The I do like the little I don't know if you got the reference, the Rosebud reference from Citizen
Wait, I
Kane
did.
when old Morty's dying.
Oh yeah.
So it's when old Morty has the ball and he says
Wait.
L, who's the new girl,
Uh-huh.
I'm guessing. And I'm just like, wait a minute, that's like a Rosebud reference from
Yeah.
Citizen Kane.
He drops one of the Dragon Balls out of his hand.
Yeah, the Dragon Balls, the Morty
Yeah.
balls, because they all have his
Yeah,
face on
they
them,
call it something else.
and he's all being, yeah. So that thing, so L calls it
Tears.
in one of the universes the Nandor
Uh-huh,
dragon
uh-huh.
tier, but then there's a guy named
Hmm.
Frank who, when Morty was about to get jumped, he looks. I guess he looks at them to help, and the dude just like looks
Hmm.
away. Um, he in another variation he gives Morty that tier, but he calls it the Nandor
Yeah.
dragon sweat. But all these balls have Morty's face on them, so it's
Like,
just like,
yeah, it
why do
should
you
be
have
called
his face?
something else.
Yeah, like it's just an NFT. That's what it
Which,
looks like right now. They're all NFTs.
dude, they're not, God rest their soul, they're not doing it anymore. Just
They're not
sell your
doing it.
NFTs, Joe.
Fastest day.
Which, by the way,
I'm holding out,
I'm
man. I'm
also
holding
wondering.
out.
So, like, she gets he's got the Nander's tears, dragon's tears, and then the sweat. So there's got to
Yeah,
be dragon's blood, right?
yeah,
Like a Nander's dragon's blood. Okay, blood,
yeah. There's
sweat,
got to
and
be something
tears,
else. Yeah,
right? Like
it's got
maybe,
blood, some
maybe.
tears, man. Yeah, maybe. But yeah, I do like the. So we get all of the like. It's all the different
Hmm.
variations of Morty's too, because it's like, okay, there's one where he's a billionaire. Uh, he's at a bar. He tells Frank, and Frank's been, it's like, okay, so Frank
Hmm.
seems like his best friend now
Yep.
in all these other universes. And he's like, I think there's one where he's like, I don't know if he's a politician or just a billionaire. They get in a limo. He's like, hey, I'm gonna need some time to myself later on. He shows him at a bar, but he has like
Yeah.
a glass of milk.
I,
He's drinking,
I wrote
drinking
that
milk at
down.
a
I wrote
bar.
like every universe, he's still like a little pipsqueak. He still like gets.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, he was getting
gets
clobbered.
clobbered up, man. 'Cause even yeah, and of course that girl L, who comes in. Like at first, I thought it was just gonna be like a dream thing, because there's a dragon that comes out and like when he's getting jumped, destroys wherever they're at in the VR, and it's like, okay, they just phantom this up because it looks like he wakes up and Rick's standing there, but it then that Rick tells him, oh no, like he gives him the spell like, hey, I'm not your Rick, I'm a different Rick, and my Morty died. He's like, but the universes are converging and clashing into each other. He's like, there's something going down right now, so it's getting crazy. And Elle says that she's a warrior who can time travel or who can
Hmm.
like
Hmm.
manipulate time or something. And so we get all. It's just like the whole setup is like, okay, the main point is it's the multiverse. It's the Marvel multiverse happening. It's Doctor Strange 2. You know, it's everything getting clashed together, and now they got to figure out because apparently the Rick that we saw in the beginning has this file creation that he made. In he said it's the he said because the Federation is coming after him because it's a bomb, or they think it's like a world ending bomb or something. And he says, no, it decreases entropy,
Yeah.
which causes the
So
flow of
it
time to
seems
go
like, and I don't
backwards.
know how if you caught the same thing. So like he like Rick like kind of tapped into the multiverse because he's like he has Morty has this like VR thing
Yeah,
that he's kind of like living through some of this stuff, but it's starting to cross over in reality
yeah,
where he thinks he's living in the multiverse, but then the multiverse I guess
yeah,
actually kind of opens up and they're kind of
yeah,
like he's living a reality, but then not
yeah,
really.
yeah. Because he says, he does say because he has Summer. It's like what Morty's doing,
Uh,
and she's like, "Oh, he's stuck in that VR game you made him." He's like, "All right." He's like, "Yeah, that's fine." It's like a long, and he says like, as long as he doesn't get too deep in it, he won't be able to tell reality from fantasy, which is a like gets down to some real stuff. Which was like, yeah, with VR being more
Prevalent. Hmm.
uh, available nowadays, prevalent, it's getting to like, okay, yeah, like now it's gonna get to the point where because they already have like the place you can go to where you could run around and actually like be in the game, moving and stuff, and it's gonna get to that point where all right, you're gonna be able to like actually feel stuff now or whatever. And it's like crossing over. It's like, okay, is this a threshold that we want to cross over? Like to the point where you actually can't
Yeah.
tell
Yeah.
reality from fantasy.
Did you So, how much of the original Rick and Morty did you watch? Did you watch like some of the stuff? So, like, did you get some of the references that they kind of?
Yeah, I got so there. I think I know
Hmm.
I got to the point where
Hmm.
evil Morty started taking over the universes. I don't think I haven't seen past that part because I don't know what season that was, but I think it happened after
Yeah,
the whole fiasco with the actor. I don't think I've
yeah,
watched.
and
I think
I'm not
that
exactly sure because the way they released
I
those
don't think I've
seasons, they
seen
were kind
anything
of like the
after that.
production kind of was kind of slow. It's like year or 2 years apart. Like they kind of like
Yeah,
were slow to kind of get some of it on.
yeah, yeah. It was really like offset, and like I said, the episode links too were like
But would you
kind of
consider
just
yourself,
iffy.
a
Like you
Rick
didn't
and
know how
Morty
long it was
fan?
going to
Like even
be.
if you didn't watch
Um,
all of it so far, like are you a fan?
yeah, I would say so. Yeah, because I do like I said, I like the multiverse aspect
Hmm.
stuff. I like because they do tap into some like actual stuff when you actually like watch it, like dealing with like because they deal with like actual real stuff. Then he's like a dad who from because like one of them was like a dad who lost his family who was trying to replace it, and it gets into like some real stuff of like, okay, how do you deal with that, or just like, it has a bunch of like, even though it's
It
like a
was,
crazy
the original
ridiculous
show
show,
was,
they do hit some like deep
that's
points.
I think it's Dan Harmon. Dan Harmon is the writer for what was the show before he did Community? Dan Harmon did
Yeah,
Community, and Justin Roiland is the other guy who kind of came up with the story
me
initially,
see.
and they write the show together,
Yeah,
and they they really go in on the writing. They're really smart. It's almost to a point where you're like, oh, they're like using actual like
yeah,
theoretical science on some of this stuff to like really like produce something that is something like off the wall,
yeah,
but also feels like it's based in something.
yeah.
And
Like grounded in like reality. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, a little bit. And so you kind of expect this for an anime show for them to kind of dig into the whole multiverse and kind of flesh some of that out. And it doesn't follow a like I was expecting it to kind of follow the
Yeah,
original show. Like, oh, they're gonna
uh,
do the whole thing. No,
yeah,
this is its own thing. They
yeah.
introduce a new character, which I think her name is it
No,
Lucy?
L.
No,
I'm talking about
L.
the yeah
Yeah,
L.
so L is like
Yeah, L and Frank are the new characters introduced.
yeah, so these are new characters and a whole new story. It's its own thing. Uh, could you tell? Could you tell that the voices are a little different? Did you watch this in
Yeah,
English or Japanese?
yeah. I watched it in English.
Okay.
Yeah, because I wanted to see like how the
hmm
voices sounded. You could tell the difference.
It's
Um,
interesting. So the voices
yeah,
aren't reprise. They don't reprise their roles, by the way. So these are all new
yeah,
voice actors who are just doing, their best at
like
imitating
yeah, impressions.
impressions. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you could tell like because I've watched it enough to like be able to tell like okay, yeah, that's like not his actual or not his voice from the original. There's certain like factors that he was able to do or tones that he had to where somebody else try to will try to recreate it, but you can tell it's just not the same.
Yeah. So yeah, they have all the kind of typical anime tropes. Did you watch the ending, the little like ending cut scene of
Yeah.
the disgusting like
the
multiverse
yeah, mutant
of
Morty.
yes.
I
It's
think
really
that's supposed
good.
to be Jerry that caught them too.
Okay. Yeah, it's at least they've got some silliness going on. All
Yeah,
right, well, hey, how about I give us some facts, huh?
go for it.
So, going way back, we're gonna go way back. So, back in the good old days, Dan Harmon and I forget the other guy, they create this like festival. So like Channel 101 is what they call it.
Yeah,
And so that's where this well Rick and Morty kind of came from the original. He has this festival. It's a short film festival. It's like off the wall short films. They're like 5 to 6 minutes long. And Royland comes in and he has this like Back to the Future kind of story that he's
yeah,
made up, and it's really goofy. And so Dan Harmon is like out of Community because he didn't like the whole producers and how they're doing all this
yeah,
stuff, and so he's doing his own thing. And Cartoon Network or Adult Swim approaches him and they want a show from him. It's like, hey, can you produce a show? Well, he has a somewhat professional relationship with Royland, and he saw his little crazy back to. By the way, I don't know if you can. You could look up this like Back to the Future style. It is crazy. It's
is
off
it
the
the one where it
wall.
goes your kids, Morty? Your kids?
Yes, yes. Okay, yeah, 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 yeah. So you do
Yeah,
know.
I see that.
Whoa.
Whoa,
Not
definitely
for
not
kids,
for
dude. It is
kids.
wild. So like they come in and they actually produce a show, and the show's a hit. They do this stuff for Adult Swim. And then now, so like in between all this stuff, like they have slow production times on some of the seasons. The seasons are kind of picking up season 1, 2, and 3 and all that kind of stuff. But in between there, they like shore up like a whole big like 70 episode kind of like into perpetuity. They're gonna have like seven more seasons or something like that. Well, I
Yeah,
think with Harmon with his kind of like idea of like having people do short films and kind of their own takes. They have some short films that they produce like a little offshoot. They get some other animators and illustrators
yeah,
and like people with other ideas to make some short films. And in like I think it was May 2022, or no, May 2020. No, sorry, March 2020. There we go. They released like their first little short film. They got a little short film. It's like
yeah,
let me see. The name of it is Samurai and Shogun, and it's done by a guy named
yeah,
Kachi Soto. And they have a little short film that none of this is announced, by the way. There's no like hey, this is a show. This is coming down the pipeline. No, Toonami just releases it on
yeah,
Cartoon Network, and people just pick it
yeah,
up and they're like, "Oh, this is awesome!" And then they release another one,
yeah,
and each of these are like 5 to 8 minutes long. They're really short. the next one was called Rick and Morty versus the Genocider, and this one was produced by Takashi Sano, who he also he's well known for doing the Tower of God. I don't know if that was one of the shows we were gonna
Yeah.
do. I nixed it, but
Yeah.
whatever.
Nixie.
And he's done some other things to his credit and stuff. And he
Yeah.
does there's then I think they do another two more, and Takashi does the next one too. And so I don't know who approaches who on this whole thing, but they're like, well, while we're on hiatus, what if we were to do, an anime? And so I
Yeah.
think it could be that the producers in Adult Swim were like, we want a show out of you. So in 2022, they announced we're gonna do a Rick and Morty anime show, and
Anime.
it's gonna
Yeah.
be, written, directed, produced by Takashi Sano. Uh, and here we are. 4 episodes in, I'm guessing so far. It was released in August 16th. So this is really new. It's August 16th, 2024.
Yeah.
But it's like
Fresh.
originally produced, well, it's produced in Japanese originally. So like I was asking you about the language
Yeah.
and you should go back and listen to it. It's kind
Yeah.
of interesting the way they do some of the voices because I'm gonna say Morty. Yeah, in
And
Japanese,
Japanese.
I'm pretty sure Morty is just a woman's voice. It's not. They're not even trying.
A girl.
They ain't even
Not even
trying,
try.
dude. They're like, oh well, if they're gonna do that anime thing, right? We're like, there's gonna be a young
Yeah.
boy
Yeah.
we're gonna just make him, and they don't even try
Yeah.
to like. And they have a
It's like
ton of different
it's
languages
girl.
too, and
Yeah.
you find this on HBO, by the way. Uh,
Yeah.
and so this is interesting, and maybe you know about this, but Sentai Studios, Sentai Studios, based in Houston, Texas. We're
Yeah.
so close, Joe Angel. You and
Yeah.
I talked about like redubbing some
So
stuff. If I
close.
just show up and I go, hey, I got this. How come there's no
Yeah.
there's no English
So
dubbing this?
hey,
L-
I got
I,
this.
I got a microphone. I got a microphone. Look, Joe Angel's got a
Yeah.
microphone. We'll just
What's
send
up
it
with
to you.
this? Yeah.
Not too
Yeah, I got
far.
a microphone right here.
I'm not too far away.
Send me the script, doc.
So August 16th, they it's the first one that's been Sentai Studios
Sentai
dubs
film.
this show
Yeah.
over. They're known for dubbing all kinds of stuff, like
Yeah.
movie production dubbing kind of stuff. Um, and here we are,
Yeah.
4 episodes in, and I hate to break it to you, Joe Angel. You ready for this? It's not being well received.
Yeah.
It's not being. Is that a surprise to you that it's not right?
Yeah.
It's there's
Nah,
so going back
it's not.
this show. I mean, the original Rick and Morty was like 2013 or
Yeah.
it goes way back. And so like you
Yeah.
have some avid fan base. Like it blew up. The
Yeah.
third season, it was everywhere. Like there was a
Yeah.
Rick and Morty like mobile making its way. You remember this? Did you go?
Yeah.
Oh,
I remember
sweet, bro.
I went to it when it came into town. Yeah.
The
I
record
went
stuff.
because it was at
And
that
I want to
that record shop
I
they
feel like
had
that
there.
was the third season.
Yeah.
Like people
So I
were
went over there.
losing their minds.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that's
the first
when
and
it was
second
like
season.
getting
Yeah.
hyped up.
Hmm,
Was
hmm,
around
hmm.
the third season. It was when it was like
But so
picking up.
I don't
Yeah.
know. So I see the reviews. I look up all these reviews, and right now it's at a 1.3
Yeah.
out of 5 stars. Now, is that because it's not good, or is it
Yeah.
because the fan base is so avid that like like you can't do this? Like I don't.
Yeah. I think it, I think
Uh-huh.
it's not just one factor. I think it might be multiple factors. The factor of being it's a different variation of the original story. So it feels like okay, it's its own thing, has nothing to do with the original story where it was going. Um, half of it could be like I
Mm-hmm.
said, the whole fiasco with Roland when everything went down. It that heavily affected it, production and how it was going to be received from then on. Um, And just going from like an anime fan stance, it's so this gets into the thing of like just because they slapped
That is
anime on
interesting.
it,
That
is
is
it
interesting.
actually
I
an
mean, it is
anime?
being
You
produced
know?
by a production company, and they're
Yeah,
trying, you could tell that they're trying to, I mean, they're paying homage. I mean, the eyes still look the same, like, but they didn't really try to
yeah,
reimagine it too
yeah,
much.
yeah. Because it's still like it's not drawn as like, which that comes to the thing too of anime itself. Because even in anime, like yes, there is a certain style, but there's
Hmm.
different like variations to that style as well. Like you have the more like shoujo stuff, which is more
Hmm.
like fine lines,
Hmm.
real light colored stuff. There's more slenderness. Then you got like shonen, which is more like kind of hard lines, darker colors, a lot muscular builds, different. Like the style itself is
Hmm.
within itself. It's so different. And so it's like okay, but that's still anime. And then it goes down to the fact, okay, is it anime because it comes from Japan or is it not? Because even
Hmm.
like with Avatar: The Last Airbender,
Yeah.
like that's heavily influenced by anime and culture with the way they're drawn and stuff. Because it's not taking the basis from American style drawings, but some people
And
don't
maybe
consider that
that's
anime.
probably the rub here. I did see some stuff. I read a couple
Yeah,
reviews and saw a couple like video reviews, and I think a lot of people, and I think I'm probably pretty close to this
yeah,
too, is they're not real keen on some of the voice acting and some of the like lapsadaisical
yeah,
writing. Because I don't know, I don't think because this is directed by Takashi Sano, but I don't know how much any of the writing is coming from, you know, Dan Harmon and Justin Roiland, you know what I'm saying? So because it's not really coming from them, it's
yeah,
kind of hard to go, well, are you doing it
yeah,
justice? Like we have a fan base and we have expectations, and this seems like
yeah,
you know what? Okay, here's what I would equate it to is
yeah,
like the last season of Game of Thrones. It's outside the books. You know what I'm saying? Like the last season is just the guys who kind of like they felt it.
yeah,
They're fans of the show, and we kind of know, but we don't
yeah,
have the like the actual source material.
yeah, yeah. The actual like,
Yeah,
all right, this is how it's
but
done. They just had the
they didn't
hey,
have the
this is how it
dialogue
ends.
or the
This
like the
is what
know-how of
everybody's
what that
gonna be
dialogue
doing.
sounds like.
Now find your way
And
to that point.
and so I think it's the same thing for here. So Takashi is like they're having to they know ish,
Yeah,
what the show is, like the whole universe thing, the multiverse thing, the what Rick is, what Morty is. They like I think they have the
yeah,
characters, but they
yeah,
don't have the like technical know-how and even some of the comedy because it's not as
yeah.
funny as you would hope, right? Am I wrong about that?
Nah,
Yeah, there is
it's
some, yeah.
it seems
Hmm.
more like there is some like funny parts,
Hmm.
but it's it seems like it's trying to be more serious as far as the
Yeah.
story goes. Um, like I said, that could just be like because they're trying to
Well, I
make it
won't be
its own
too
thing
harsh on it. I mean,
because
I
it
think this
doesn't
has been ordered
feel like it's
for
attached to the
probably
original Rick and
10
Morty
episodes,
stuff.
maybe. So, and we're only 4 episodes in, and everybody's going to be, yeah, we're going to be pretty critical about this. I think all of us are going to be really
For
critical about the show.
episodes in.
And I mean, when you and I saw the trailer for it, right? Like
Yeah,
it looks so dope. I was like, oh yeah, this makes sense as an anime. Like, the whole
yeah.
like
The trailer looked
space
dope.
kind of
That's
stuff
it.
and some of the stuff that they can kind of imagine and do. You just have this kind
Yeah,
of like, expectation for it.
yeah,
But honestly, that's all I really have about the show, dude. Like because we don't
yeah,
I don't I could imagine some stuff is gonna be coming out later about like, um, production and expectation for it later on. I was kind of concerned because I don't know if you got wrapped up in this too, but somebody was like, Cartoon Network is shutting its doors. Did you see this? No, you did not. Let me squash it for you because somebody put out there. I'm
Uh,
gonna go ahead and squash it for you. So somebody had put
I
out
didn't see. Did I see
Cartoon
that?
Network shuts its doors
Uh,
and like the
Squash
the
it. Yeah.
building is closed. They're I think they're moving the building. So they thought, oh well, Cartoon Network is just done. It's done. And so like that
Yeah.
means that obviously anything else that's going to be
Yeah.
related to Cartoon Network is also done too. It's
Done.
not the truth.
Yeah.
I think they're just getting a different building. That's all it
Yeah.
is. The build, yeah, they're moving.
Yeah.
So they're just changing the address.
Yeah. Moving. They're just changing the address. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like
I mean, you can only do so much to rebuild a house to where you
you
just
can only
gotta
paint
move,
those
man.
walls so many times until you're like,
You can only
I
replace
can't
that
tell the
floor so many
difference.
times where it's just like, you know what, forget it. Yeah, so many
the,
times
the walls are closing in
until
on
you're
you
like,
because you're painting
yeah,
them too much.
you got a foot of paint on those walls, man.
Oh, snap. Well, I mean, that's it,
The walls
Joe Angel.
closing
I mean,
in.
like, we're talking four
uh,
more episodes, and they're only like 17 to 20 minutes long. They're actually kind of short. I don't know if you noticed the runtime because we had like a long intro and a tiny little like intro at the beginning, and the rest of the show is like actual show
yeah,
runtime is like 16 to 17 minutes. So it's not a lot to
yeah,
commit to.
actual, yeah,
No, no, no. I mean, they were steeped in like
yeah.
theoretical time travel and multiverse
Which it
stuff
seemed
and all
like
this
the
kind of
originals
stuff that
too weren't
like I
that
get it.
long,
Like people are gonna give them a
anyways.
hard time for like being slow on their production, but good grief, I mean, they really think a lot
Yeah,
about this, They think up a lot. It's heady. It's a more as ridiculous.
yeah. I mean, they gotta call Neil deGrasse Tyson to be like, "Hey, can this happen?" Yeah,
Hey, they're honestly, I mean, like, for real. So, like, I don't know. I mean, are you gonna watch any more of this
and there's
show?
Joe
In
Angel Power
the Joe
Hour,
Angel,
sponsored
uh,
by
in the Joe
nobody
Angel
yet,
Power
but I'm
Hour,
looking.
as you review
I
this,
need some energy drinks.
yeah, get you an energy drink
Sugar water,
sponsor, sponsored by some
sugar
sort of
water,
sugar
purple.
water.
Get some purple in your life. Yeah, that's a
Get
slogan.
some purple in your life. That's their
uh,
that's the slogan.
I will probably watch more, but it'll probably be like overtime. You
Hmm.
know, because like I said, it going
Yeah.
from the original Rick and Morty to this, it's like a big change. Especially for the style. What it seems like what it's gonna deal with. It didn't seem like it didn't have that comedic aspect as much. Because even like in the original Rick and Morty, there's still like it had its own like individual kind of storyline in the episode, but there was an overall like story in the background being planted, you know. And so this seems like it's
Yeah, yeah.
just more, you know, gonna be based solely on that just one storyline. Which, you know, it's typical. Most shows just do that. But style wise, like its drawing really wasn't that great. As far as like how they reimagined their style, how they would look.
Hmm.
Like I said,
Hmm.
it's one of those things where it's gonna be is this actually an anime because of how it's looking, how the characters look, how it's designed, how they're drawn and stuff. Um, so giving it 1 out of 5 Mortys, I'm probably gonna put this at 2.5.
2.5. It's
Yeah,
not bad. That's not bad. I think you land right in the middle because as I looked at the
yeah.
reviews, I see
The one
either
or
one
the
stars
other.
or 5 stars. It's kind of
Yeah,
crazy. It's like either
yeah,
either you freaking love
yeah,
it or you freaking hate it.
yeah. Because like you
And
said, it's
we're
still
right down the
like
middle. I think
it's
I'm
gonna be
with
a
you right
short
now.
run, and there's only like it's fairly new, so not all the episodes are available. It looks like they're just dropping them one at a time. Um, and so I think it's gonna have to like get more into the story to see how well it picks up after, you know, after the fact.
I'm gonna read a couple
Reviews
snippets off of
time.
some of the online reviews. Ready for this? Uh, uh, Review time. Here's a 1 star.
Yeah.
It's probably like 7 paragraphs, but I'm just gonna read this one little part because I thought it was interesting. It says, I'll keep watching out of sheer curiosity to see where this
Oh
anime
yeah.
goes, but man, it's off to a rocky start.
Yeah, he's still gonna
One
watch it
star.
because
So, but
it's
people are
like,
gonna still,
because like I
he's
said,
still gonna
it's
watch
that
it
first
though.
episode, David.
He's
It's
still
kind of
gonna.
like sometimes they land, sometimes they don't. So you just like, it's the deciding factor of, all right, this didn't land right now, but can they come back from it?
Here's another review. This one's 5 stars. Says this show is becoming more
Hmm,
interesting when
interesting.
new episodes
Yeah,
are released.
yeah,
So maybe if we got a couple more
yeah,
episodes into it, I like the idea. Like the whole multiverse thing is
yeah,
it's the new age
yeah. Because everybody's
time
talking
travel.
about
You know, when
multiverse
everybody's
now,
making
man.
time travel movies, or
Yeah. It's hot, son.
it's
Yeah,
hot, son. It's hot, and we
we
you know
were.
what I'm
Yeah,
saying we were in a
we
different
watched the
multiverse
different
just earlier.
first
You know what I'm
episode.
saying? Y-
Yeah,
you
you're one
I'm
season
just
ahead
one
of me there.
I'm just 1 season ahead of you, Joe Angel. Okay, that's all.
uh, uh, that's all we
All
got
right. That's
today,
all I got.
guys.
That's all we
And
got.
as always, give us those likes, give us those shares, give us the subscribe, and turn on your notifications so that we know when these episodes are available. And of course, as always, we are available on Spotify, Podbean, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and SoundCloud, guys. Hit us up, follow us on there, and follow us on our Instagram and TikTok at Anime Me Pod, where you can find clips and stay up to date. And you can also go to our website now, anime-me.com, and you can buy these shirts. You can find our episodes there as well, and you can stay up to date on stuff when we have on there. And as always, drop those comments. Let us know what shows you want us to watch and cover, and make sure you're sharing the shows with your friends that you're trying to get into anime, because that's what it's all about: sharing anime one episode at a time, guys. And as always, I've been Joanne with co-host Sal, and we will see you on the next one. Liz.
Peace.
これはアニメミーでした。これから帰国の旅を始めます。ご清聴ありがとうございました。